The crystal glasses clinked at my parents' fancy dinner party. Everyone was showing off their latest status symbols: Dad's new Rolex, Mom's designer bag, my sister Kate's luxury car keys prominently displayed by her plate. "Emma, darling," my mother said, eyeing my simple outfit and the basic black phone beside my water glass. "We discussed this. Appearances matter in our circle." I glanced at my phone, a deliberately plain model that hid its custom-built interior. The screen discreetly showed my company's stock hitting another record high. "Still using that old thing?" Dad chuckled, waving his latest iPhone. The partners at my firm would never take someone seriously with a phone like that. If he only knew that phone was running proprietary software worth billions, controlling my tech empire right under their noses. "Speaking of the firm," Kate smirked, "how's that little app of yours doing, Emma? Still trying to compete with the big players?" My phone quietly buzzed. "Acquisition of Martinez Global confirmed. Transfer of ownership complete." Martinez Global, Dad's firm's parent company. "It's coming along," I said mildly, watching another notification flash. "Board meeting in 10 minutes. Final approval needed for corporate restructure." "You know," Mom sighed, "the Hendersons' daughter just made junior partner. They bought her the new iPhone to celebrate. Perhaps if you'd focused on law school instead of this hobby." My sister held up her phone. "Look what my bonus bought me. When you're ready for a real career, Emma, I can put in a word at the firm." The irony was delicious. They had no idea that tomorrow, every employee at their precious firm would be getting new welcome packets, with my company's logo on top. "Richard," Mom called to her friend across the table, "didn't you just close that big deal with Martinez Global?" Dad puffed up proudly. "Biggest merger in the firm's history. We're all getting substantial bonuses." My phone lit up again. "Press embargo lifts at 9 a.m. tomorrow. All major networks confirmed for announcement." "The Martinez merger will transform the firm," Dad continued, swirling his expensive wine. "Though I suppose that's all a bit over your head, Emma. Tech startups don't deal with these kinds of numbers." My investment app quietly showed my personal net worth. $8.2 billion. More than Martinez Global's entire market cap. "Did you hear about Lisa's promotion?" Mom pressed. "Vice president at just 32. Now that's what ambitious young women can achieve when they take the traditional path." My phone buzzed. "NYZ confirms. Your company now controls 51% of Martinez Global shares. Paperwork filed." "Traditional paths aren't everything, Mom," I said, checking the time. 8 minutes until the board meeting that would reshape Dad's entire industry. "Easy to dismiss tradition when you can't afford it," Kate snipped, deliberately adjusting her diamond bracelet. "Some of us actually earn enough to maintain standards." Richard leaned forward. "Martinez is bringing in that hot new tech firm to modernize operations. What was it called? Shadow something." "Shadow Tech," Dad said proudly. "Very exclusive. Very innovative. The CEO's some kind of reclusive genius. Nobody knows who runs it." I bit back a smile. Shadow Tech, my company's public face. The reclusive genius was sitting right here eating overcooked salmon with a cheaper phone. "Emma used to talk about working there," Kate laughed. "Remember? Before she decided to build her own company instead." Mom touched my arm. "It's not too late to apply for a real position, dear. Your father could make some calls." My phone lit up. Final contracts signed. Shadow Tech's acquisition of Martinez Global complete. "You are now majority owner of all subsidiaries." "Actually," I said quietly, "I do have some connection to Shadow Tech." "Oh honey," Mom sighed, "following their stock price on your little phone doesn't count as a connection." Dad's phone rang, the firm's managing partner. He frowned at the urgent tone, stepping away from the table. "Speaking of connections," Kate smirked, "my firm's handling the Martinez transition. Very hush-hush. Very exclusive." Another notification flashed across my simple black phone. "All systems ready for tomorrow's announcement. Shadow Tech reveals CEO, acquires Martinez Global." Dad returned, his face slightly pale. "Something's happening at the firm. Emergency meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Martinez Global's ownership has changed hands." "Changed hands?" Kate's smirk faltered. "That's impossible. Who could possibly?" My phone chimed softly. "Board meeting time. Excuse me, I said standing. I have a call to take. More app debugging? Kate called after me. Something like that, I smiled, heading to the study. Actually, Dad, you might want to come too. There's something we need to discuss about Martinez Global. What could you possibly know about? His voice trailed off as his own phone exploded with notifications. Breaking news. Tech giant ShadowTech acquires Martinez Global in surprise move. The study door clicked shut behind us. Through the mahogany panels, we could still hear the dinner party chatter. Kate bragging about her insider knowledge of Martinez Global, Mom lamenting my career choices. Dad, I said quietly, setting my cheap phone on his prized desk. You should sit down. Emma, I have a crisis at work. Whatever app problem you're having can wait. My phone projected a holographic display onto the wall, the ShadowTech executive dashboard. His eyes widened at the real-time data flowing across his wood paneling. What is this? How did you dash? Welcome to ShadowTech's command center, I said, entering my CEO credentials. Or as Kate calls it, my little app. The color drained from his face as my full profile appeared. Emma Chin, founder and CEO, ShadowTech Industries. Net worth, $8.2 billion. This is impossible, he whispered. Actually, I pulled up the Martinez acquisition papers. What's impossible is how long I managed to keep this quiet during family dinners. His hands shook as he reached for the documents. You're the reclusive genius? The one nobody's ever seen. The one you said was revolutionizing the industry last Christmas. I smiled. Right after telling me to give up on tech and get a real job. The study door burst open. Kate stood there, clutching her phone. Dad, the partners are panicking. Martinez Global just got bought by Dash. She froze, staring at the holographic display showing my executive profile. By me, I completed. Well, by ShadowTech. But same thing. But you can't even afford an iPhone, she stammered. I picked up my cheap phone. This custom-built quantum computing prototype. Worth more than your car. I just didn't feel the need to show it off. Mom appeared behind Kate, then gasped at the display. Emma, what did you do? Built a tech empire, I said, pulling up the company org chart. And as of 9 minutes ago acquired Martinez Global. Including Dad's firm and Kate's division. Dad sank into his leather chair. My firm works for you? Everyone works for me, I corrected, showing the full corporate structure. Well, ShadowTech. The press release goes live at 9 a.m. 1 month later, the same dining room hosted a very different dinner party. Gone were the subtle jabs about my career choices and cheap phone. Instead, Mom nervously polished already spotless glasses while watching CNBC's special report. ShadowTech CEO Emma Chin, the stealth billionaire who changed tech. Your sister will be here soon, Mom said, adjusting my place setting for the 5th time. She's finishing up her presentation for the board. My board, I corrected gently, checking acquisition reports on my quantum phone. Though she's doing well as head of strategic operations. Kate had traded her designer suits for more practical attire after realizing her baby sister was now her boss. The connection to ShadowTech she'd once bragged about had become painfully literal. Dad entered, his Rolex replaced by a more modest watch. The Martinez integration numbers are impressive, Emma. Your vision for the company. He trailed off, still adjusting to the fact that his daughter had orchestrated the biggest tech acquisition of the year while sitting at his dinner table. Mr. Chin, my assistant's voice came through my phone. Tim Cook is requesting a meeting about the AI partnership. Mom nearly dropped the crystal decanter. After years of pushing me toward respectable careers, she now watched as tech giants courted her daughter. Did you see the Forbes profile? She asked, bringing out the magazine where I graced the cover. The Silent Revolution, how Emma Chin built a tech empire in secret. Speaking of profiles, Dad said carefully, the partners, I mean your employees, were hoping you might give a talk at the firm retreat. The same partners who said I'd never succeed without a corner office? I smiled, checking the latest market data. ShadowTech's stock had tripled since the revelation. Kate arrived, clutching her tablet with quarterly projections. The Singapore expansion is ahead of schedule. Though I'm sure you already knew that. Since I approved it this morning, I nodded. How are you liking remote work? She laughed softly. Better than that corner office I used to brag about. My phone displayed another notification. White House Tech Advisory Council meeting confirmed. Private jet standing by. Remember when you all thought I was just playing with apps? I asked, watching their expressions. We were so wrong, Mom whispered, touching my arm. About everything. Not everything, I said, showing her Shadowtech's new educational initiative. You taught me the value of hard work. I just applied it differently. The TV shifted to breaking news. Shadowtech announces revolutionary AI platform. Market cap exceeds $100 billion. The funny thing is, I mused, I never needed expensive phones or fancy offices to build something meaningful. Dad watched the stock ticker climb. All this time during all those dinners. I was running an empire between courses, I confirmed. Though the salmon was usually overcooked. My phone buzzed. Time magazine, Person of the Year interview scheduled. Kate shook her head in amazement. How did none of us see it? Because you were looking for success in all the wrong places, I said, rising as my car arrived for the board meeting. Sometimes the biggest achievements come in the plainest packages. I held up my cheap phone, now recognized as the most advanced mobile computing device in existence. Like this little thing that everyone mocked. Mom started to speak but was interrupted by breaking news. Shadowtech CEO Emma Chin announces breakthrough quantum computing platform. Tech industry stunned.